Hi everyone, welcome back to Sunset Wildlife Connection. My name is Margaret. I am the director here at SWC, and today I do have some sad news to share with all of you. Unfortunately, one of our two bearded dragons did pass away about a week or so ago. His name was Fig, and he came with his friend Newton, who is actually back here, who you can see right here. They did come together in October of 2021, and we have had them ever since. Fig was a silky bearded dragon, which is a morph of bearded dragon that does not have scales. So we're gonna talk a little bit today about Fig and his life with us and his life before us, as well as some ethical topics that we talked about a lot with Fig. So let's go back and actually watch some video and talk about his rescue story.
Fig came to Sunset Wildlife Connection in October of 2021. I was purchasing some tanks from someone off of the Facebook marketplace, and I showed up to buy the tanks and pick them up, and they asked me, what are you using these tanks for? And I said that I am running and had just founded an animal rescue. They were like, oh my gosh, we just shut down our bearded dragon business, which was a breeding business, and they had shut down from COVID. So here we have this rescue, come take this rescue from us since we're not doing this anymore. And they actually walked out with not one, but two bearded dragons. And I was not prepared at all to be bringing bearded dragons home that day. So I actually was buying 10-gallon tanks, and I needed something a lot larger since these were adult bearded dragons. I had gotten one tank, but I had to go to PetSmart and buy another tank so that I could house these two new bearded dragons. But they were covered in kind of their own feces. Fig specifically was very neglected, and you could definitely see some of his digits or his fingers were falling off, and that is due to lack of care. So we went into the vet, got him looked at. We definitely gave him a lot of specialized attention and specialized care. He was not a huge fan of encounters in general, but I really do think that he did a really good job at helping us with an ethical topic, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But Fig really was a special part of my rescuing exotic animals. He was really one of the first extreme neglect cases that I took in as Sunset Wildlife Connection. So it was definitely a special moment for me, and it is really sad to see him go, but I'm so glad that I got to educate so many people about his story.
I am so grateful that Fig came to our exotic animal rescue. I didn't actually get to use him for anything off property, and I actually didn't get to use him very much at all, except for with adults or in our VIP tour. I did believe that it was very important when I would come and bring people back here during the reptile room tour. I always went back to Fig and had a ethical conversation. And we're gonna go over some of the ethics with breeding silky bearded dragons. When it comes to breeding silky bearded dragons, I believe that it's actually really important as people who breed animals, we must do that in an ethical way. Now, I personally do not think that silky bearded dragons are an ethical animal that we should be breeding. There is some animals that just ethically, they just do not do well. They would not survive in the wild without human care, and silky bearded dragons are one of those kinds of animals. Because they have no scales, they would absolutely never survive in the Australian desert where the sun is very extreme and they get to very hot temperatures. These bearded dragons can actually get a sunburn if they are out in the sun for too long. Silkies also required things like higher humidity, which is not natural for bearded dragons. I had to provide her with a large water. That large water, again, would up the humidity, but it's something that she had to have for her scales because she was constantly shedding. And I'm saying he and she interchangeably. I do believe it was a boy, but I'm actually not positive. So I just kind of say it interchangeably, just so you know. I don't think that they should be something that is bred. They're constantly shedding. She was always shedding her skin, and it pretty much feels like whenever you peel from a sunburn and it's kind of itchy, doesn't feel good. That's exactly what happened with Fig for her whole entire life. I can't even imagine having a sunburn for your whole entire life. Unfortunately, it is something that these bearded dragons have to deal with for their entire life. So it is pretty much like having chronic pain that you live with from day one till the day that you lay to rest. That is not a very good life for an animal. Just something that I want everybody to keep in mind, especially because now that we don't have our silky bearded dragon, I of course am not going to go and buy another one. I will rescue another bearded dragon in the future, but I don't have that ethical topic to talk about anymore. So I will always resurface her videos and talk about them because I want her legacy to live on through the education that I do through my channel and my other social medias. I really want her to live on and to know that we are doing our best to maintain her legacy on this earth. She was such a beautiful animal with a great personality when she got used to her caretakers and to give her a bath. It was some of the best times. I do have a animal spotlight that featured Fig. If you guys would like to watch that animal spotlight, I do talk a little bit more about the ethics, but we also do take care of her. We give her a bath, and it is a really sweet and cool video if you do want to learn a little bit more about Fig and about bearded dragons, especially silkies. You can watch that. It is linked down below, as well as other ways that you can help support our channel and to help support our nonprofit Exotic Animal Rescue. Now, with all bad news does come some good news. Do have a new animal who we have rescued. They just came out of quarantine, and I am going to be posting their new edition video here soon. And it quite literally happened all at the same time, where Fig passed away and then we had new animals show up quite literally that fast. If you guys are subscribed to this channel, turn on your notifications so that you are notified when we do post that new video. Put in the comments some of your well wishes for Fig and for her caretakers so that we can all grieve together and move on to rescue new animals. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.